Hi,
Hey, dude.
hi, this is Yun from China. Nice to meet you, and thanks
Nice to
for
meet
taking
you.
your time to answer my questions.
Of course.
Okay, shall we start? Hi, both Evil Dead and Don't Breathe took place in a confined environment, either the famous wooden hut or the veteran's house. The Alien series was similar in its setting, especially for the first two films being set in a spaceship and the space marine colony. Do you think there's some experience that you could carry over from your previous works to Alien Romulus?
I hope so. Yeah, and I think that's why I wanted to make this movie. I feel like after I was done with Evil Dead and Don't Breed, we we felt like someone asked us what could you do if you could do anything, and I always my answer was Alien. I would love to make an Alien film, because it is my favorite movie in the horror genre, and it felt like everything I learned about horror and suspense in my movies, I think I learned it from the original Alien and Aliens. So it just made a lot of sense to me to be able to do one of them, and because none of them in the last decade or so had never gone to that place that the original went to, that kind of more horror, or even Aliens, the action, the thriller of those films. I felt that I was kind of as a fan, I was just desperate to see an alien movie that went back to those times. So that's why you make these movies as a director. It's just movies you want to see that no one is making. So you go and go, okay, let me do it so I can see it. That's the reasoning why.
Okay. Chronologically, Alien Romulus was set between Alien and Aliens, which were uh, both directed by extremely famous directors. Also, the Alien series had a tradition of switching directors between entries. So, what's your personal angle or take on the Alien series that could distinguish your work from previous entries while still stay true to the franchise?
I think the element that will make it stand out and compare with the others is always going to be the story you're telling. It doesn't matter how similar it looks stylistically to the other movies. If the story is different, it's a completely different experience, completely different movie. These characters they're really not like anything we've seen before. They're completely different characters. They're younger. They're people that actually live in one of these colonies in space. So it's just a completely different approach to this movies. So that on its own will feel completely different. When you watch this movie, you will have no idea where it goes. You've never seen this movie before. Even though you might be an expert in all the other ones, you'll still have no idea where this goes because it's a completely different story. Um, then stylistically, I did want to be as close as possible to particularly the first two, because I love those films that I wanted to be part of that world. But I think what makes it a standout and makes it different is the story and the characters. Just they're not they don't resemble any of the other movies.
Oh, thank you. Uh, from the footage screening, we could see all the classic forms of the creature, which is true to the series. Since there are several chest busters, I guess there are more than one alien in the film. As a filmmaker, which setting do you prefer? One alien or an army of aliens? And aside from the classic forms, should we expect any surprises in the changing of the forms?
Yeah, like I think, for me as a fan of Alien and Aliens, to have to pick one over the other is just a perverse choice. No one should be ever be put in the position to choose between those two. So while I was making one, I want to make sure I give the audience uh some of the elements that you find in both movies, right? So Alien and Aliens. When it comes to the designs, yeah, there's definitely new things. I think we've been showing in the materials things that are more familiar to the other movies. That's what I want to do, just show you the things that you've seen before in some levels. But I think there's more new things than old things in the movie, and I just can't wait for you to see them. But I don't want to talk too much about it because it will be a massive spoiler. But all I can say is like really all the new things they are done. really respecting the designs of H.R. Giger of the original films. We really went back to the books and his original drawings for the first film to create anything new in this film. It really needed to be faithful to the design and style of those original films.
Okay, and here's my last question. It is known that you played several Alien video games, and there's also a record that you once attached to direct a film based on Dante's Inferno. So, as a longtime gamer, I must ask whether there's any elements that we'll see in the new film that's based on previous released Alien video games.
There is, yeah. I mean, because one of the big inspirations for me that really made me think, oh, that it would be great to make a new Alien movie was, when I played Alien Isolation back in 2016, 17, and I really fell in love with that game and that world, and I felt, wow, like Alien done well and done, in that particular world can be so powerful and so scary. So it was really one of the triggers for me to decide to go and try to make this film. So with that in mind, there's a lot of nods to designs and things and creations that the creators of that game did and add to the Alien lore and Alien canon that I embrace and I put in the movie as well to acknowledge and a nod to them as a thank you for having created that game.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.